All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Do Work Podcast. The Do Work Podcast is a weekly podcast where we discuss things like mindset, entrepreneurship, and becoming our best self daily. Yes, we do. But one thing we do know, and everyone in the Do Work crew knows, is that nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. Nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. And before we start today, make sure to go over to hardworknoexcusesapparel.com and get yourself a No Excuses hat, t-shirt, because nobody cares about your excuses. That's pretty much what it is. Nobody gives a shit about your excuses. And every show we strive to eliminate those excuses. Yo, what's up, everybody? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. I'm waving at everybody. I'm getting to you. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Yo, so today we are talking about having a champion mindset. We're going to talk about having a champion mindset. We're going to talk about living a life of no regrets. Now, I will tell you one thing that I strive to do daily is have no regrets. So what does having no regrets mean? That means I wake up every day. I live life on my terms. I live life on my terms. I do what I want to do. I do things how I want to do it. Why? Because I want to make sure that when my time on this earth is done, I'm not leaving anything on the table. Because you know what is in cemeteries outside of people's dead bodies? Dreams, hopes, and aspirations. And I don't want to leave any of that. I don't want to leave any of that at the end, man. Like, I don't know. I guess that's why I go so hard. My biggest fear is that I'm going to have a regret, and I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to have any regrets. And one way you live a life of no regrets is to try and eliminate your fear. Eliminate that fear of what people may think of you. Eliminate that fear of failure. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to fail. I don't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail. But people are afraid of failure. And instead of taking the steps to move forward, what they have a tendency to do is not take a step at all. They let that fear prohibit them from doing and being. And you cannot live life that way. What's up to my IG family? We live on YouTube and Spotify and everything else is popping right now. But you cannot live a life of fear. You cannot live a life of fear. You must stay focused. You got to leap in. I'm talking like diving in head first. Taking those calculated risks. Not being afraid of opportunity. I know somebody understands me right now. If you understand me right now, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I know y'all understand me right now. Because if you're here, that means you're part of the Do Work crew. You can't be afraid. Because I say it, and I will say it again, and I will say it 1,000,000 times over. Fear kills more dreams than failure does. I know that's right, Carrera. Fear kills more dreams, thank you, Ava Les Organic Beauty, than failure does. It does. It does. So when we talk about no regrets, one of the other things we need to kind of dig into and address is living in the past. So nothing irks my soul more than when people live in the past. They're telling me what they used to do, what they're talking about the glory days. And let me tell you something. We've all had our glory days, right? And I think they're great. They're reminders, but you can't live there. You're not the person you were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You're not even the same person 5 minutes ago. We constantly evolve and change, whether we're conscious of it or not. The past should be used as a reminder, as a stepping stool, as a guide and a gauge of how you want to direct yourself. But let me tell you, you can't live there. You cannot live there. There are a lot of things in my past that I miss and I wish I could do, but we in a different space now. We're in a different space now. That diva's gone. That diva's long gone. We're in a different space. You cannot live in the past. Use it as a teaching tool, use it as a stepping stool, but you still got to move forward. Don't worry, we're drinking Red Bull, I promise. Red Bull 9:00 at night. Let's go. It's a stepping stool. That's what that is. It is a stepping stool. So you may ask yourself, you're like, well, Diva, sometimes, the past was so awesome. It was so amazing. Why can't I live there? Why can't I stay there? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you want to be in the present. Why? I love this saying, the present is a gift, right? You want to be in the present. You want to be in the present. You want to live in this moment. Present in the future. You want to exist in the moment you're in and use that energy in these spaces to help you guide you through where you want to go. Again, the past is there. It happened. It's a learning tool. It's a stepping stool. But that's it. That's all it is. So don't get hung up back there. So I said I wasn't going to talk about boxing tonight. If you follow me for a while, you know I'm a huge fight fan. Former Golden Glove boxer, champion, PA states. I didn't go national. I won states. Not that that's not good, but national is a whole nother level. But I was on Instagram today, and people were making comments about the Canelo fight, saying, so if you don't know, Canelo Alvarez took a risk. He decided to move up in weight class, fight heavier, because his goal is like to win a belt in every weight class. So he takes this risk and he loses the fight. And the interesting thing about this is everyone is like really giving him shit. Now, mind you, he's a world-class champion. Everybody's giving him shit. They're like, he lost. He got crushed. He shouldn't have did that. He didn't win. And a champion does a few things. But one important thing that champions and winners do, they take calculated risk. And when they fail, they learn from it. Now, I did finally watch this fight. And yeah, he lost, but he didn't get like crushed. He just lost. He took a risk. It didn't pay off. But he learned from it, right? Still a world champion. Still legit, probably one of the top 5 boxers in the world. But I was more intrigued by the comments or the people who were in the nosebleed seats, the people who were watching, the people who really didn't have much invested, the freaking peanut gallery, saying how terrible he is, how weak he is, how his career is over. And I really started to apply that to my life and what I see happening in other people's life. You got to be willing to take those risks. The people who are in the freaking peanut gallery, the people who are in the stands watching, that's what they're doing. They're watching. Because they don't have the balls, they don't have the cojones to do what you chose to do. So all they can do is talk shit on you. All they can do is mock your failures. All they can do is talk down on your successes. That's what happens. That's what happens. So when you look at a champion, someone who's accomplished, like Canelo, who takes a loss, all of a sudden they're talking about him like he's the worst thing in the world. Like he never fought a day in his life. It's baffling to me. But that's what people do. And if you're going to be a winner, if you're going to succeed in this life, you have to have a champion mindset. And what does that consist of? That champion mindset is going to consist of a few things. One, you have to block out the noise. You got to block out the noise. Champions focus. Winners stay focused. They block out the noise. You have to block out the noise. If you stay in that space and you let people talk in your ear and get you distracted, you lose, you get unfocused, and then they go back to talking shit about you. This is what they do. They talk, they talk, they talk. Block out the noise. You have to block out the noise. Champion mindset. You have to stick to your plan, stick to your strategy. See through. You don't know if things are working until you see them through. Yes, every now and then you may get a thing like, oh, this is going to be bad. But stick to a plan, see it through. Because if you keep changing directions with your focus and your energy, you're not going to know what worked and what didn't, because you didn't see things to completion. You got to see things through. Champion mindset. Champions learn from their failures. They don't even consider them failures. They consider them lessons. They consider them lessons. Man, I have messed up a lot in my life. I have made huge mistakes in my business. They are lessons. Doesn't mean you close up shop. You adapt, you pivot, and you change. You use it as a lesson. Champions use failure as lessons. The freaking peanut gallery and the people in the stands, they use failure. You know how they use failure? As an excuse. And you know, this is the Do Work crew, so you know how we feel about excuses here. We don't do excuses. They use it as an excuse to stop. It wasn't going to work anyway. You don't know that. Until you do something to completion, you don't know if it's not going to work. Half of the things that aren't working in your life is because you just go half-ass. You're going halfway. You haven't even attempted to complete stuff. So how you going to tell somebody if it don't work? You don't know. You have not fully committed and tried. Losing weight ain't working out. You know why it ain't working? Because you ain't committed. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. The math behind weight loss and getting in shape is really simple. So if you can't do it, there's a part of that equation you have not dedicated and committed to. There's something you're missing. Figure out what it is, right? Because this is what champions do. Figure out what it is, adapt and change. You want to work on your relationship and you want to work on your marriage. Things aren't working out. There's something you haven't committed to. There's something you haven't quite tried yet. You got to stay in the game. You have to keep your head in the game. Champions are resilient. They don't quit. And trust me, I'm going to tell you, I have so many days where I'm like, fuck this. I'm done. I'm tired. But my discipline won't let me stop. It won't let me quit. Champions are disciplined. They do what needs to be done day in and day out. Even when they don't want to. And let me tell you, in the Do Work crew, I talk a lot about discipline. If you haven't, go over to divarichards.com. Okay? Subscribe to the newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter. And let me tell you, I talk a lot about discipline. Discipline is the key, is the foundation. When people tell me they lack discipline, you know what I know? That's just them saying they don't want to do something. Seriously, think about it. There are things in your life you've always wanted to do. And when you want to do something, you get it done. If you have to get up a certain time to be at work, you get it done. You need to be there for your family, you get it done. When you don't do something, you really don't want to. And that's hard to hear. Some part of you inside gave up. You quit. You checked out. You checked out. And you can't check out. You cannot check out. Champions don't get to check out. They have to stay in the game. Champions don't get to quit. They have to stay in the game. Because the end goal and the end result is more important than any bullshit they got going on in the present. They don't let things distract them. Champions stay focused. And I'm talking laser focused. Ask yourself, what is your end goal? What is your daily goal? I talk a lot about writing things down and helping you to organize your day and have a plan. Do you wake up and just wake up and just kind of float through the day? Or do you have an agenda? Do you have a plan for your life? 6 months, 1 year, 3, 5 years from now? Are you just going to see what happens? Champions have mapped it out. Winners have mapped it out already. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to accomplish. And this is how I plan to accomplish it. Come on, y'all. It's a whole level that a lot of people are missing. It's a whole level people are missing. And the reason they are missing it is because, and I've said this and I said it last week, people are fearful of what will happen if they fail. They're fearful of what will happen if they win. And they're afraid of what people will say about them if it doesn't work out. Some of you are more scared of being successful than you are failing. Let that sink in. That's a scary truth right there. Some of you are more scared of being successful than you are of failing. Don't check out, man. I'm talking to my Instagram fam here, YouTube. Give me a minute. Don't check out. If you guys have questions, put them in the box. I'm sorry, I was in the zone. I didn't even check the questions. If you have questions, type them in. I'm focused now. I'm back. I was in the zone. But yo, I'm telling you, you can't check out on life. You check out on life, it'll pass you by. Don't check out on you. Come on, Chantel, stay in the game. Stay in the game. They need you. The world needs you. Like, people forget how much value we bring. The world needs you. You need you. You can't check out on this. I need you guys to step into each and every day with a champion mindset. You have to. I don't want anything less from you. I don't. Hey, look, you don't have a life coach? Guess what? I'm your coach. You listen to everything that's coming out of my mouth right now. I'm your coach. Welcome to the Do Work crew. Welcome to the Do Work crew. I'm your coach. I want you to win. I really want you to win. But this is the thing. I can't want you to win more than you want to win. I can't want success for you more than you want success. I can't want peace and love and light for you more than you want it. If you don't want to change, if you don't want to do these things, it doesn't matter what I want for you now, does it? We just talking wasting time. Yo, this is your moment. And I say it all the time. Champions keep their head in the game. But one thing I need you all to do, I need everybody to do this for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you do it, I want you to DM me or you can email me at diva@divariches.com and tell me you did it. I want you to write down your goals, and I need you to ask yourself just one very serious and important question. Are all your current actions in line with the goals you have laid out? Are they? Ask yourself that. You know, everybody's like, oh, my plan is to do this, or oh, my plan is to do that. But I want to ask you, are all your current actions in line with that big goal? And if you're not, if your questions, if your actions, are not in line with that big goal, we got a problem. Because you faking. Don't fake. Champion mindset, Steven. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about staying focused. We're talking about not checking out on you, not checking out on life. I don't want you to check out. Yo, let me tell you something. Life is a beautiful thing. Even on the bad days. Even when this thing sucks. And let me tell you, life is going to suck. Life is going to suck. Like, yo, it will beat the shit out of you. It will crush your soul. Soul crushing. But even in that, there's so much beauty and there's so much power. And that's what winners find. That's what champions find. But this is the thing, Steve, and I see your comment. Life does suck, right? Yeah, it sucks. Things are hard. But you already know that. So your job is to wake up every day, go out into the world, find the light, and be the light. Find positivity in your world. Provide positivity for others. And then all of a sudden, this terrible thing, this hard thing called life ain't so bad. You have these moments where it's just amazing. You have these days where I'm telling you, I always say the good days outweigh the bad days. But you got to have bad days. You got to have bad days. And you know why? The bad days make you appreciate those good ones. The bad days make you really understand and value what you have. So when those bad days come, learn the lessons. Absorb. You'll get through it. Literally. Like when people say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, that's real. That is so real. That is so real. Discomfort is temporary. Now, mind you, even though that temporary could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, but it ain't forever. It ends. And when you get over on the other side of that, man, there's power in this, guys. There's power in this. You have to have a champion mindset. That's why I'm so obsessed with athletes. I'm so obsessed with all sports, the game, because the mindset you need to compete in sports is very similar to the mindset you need to compete and succeed at life. It really is. The parallels are uncanny. Those parallels are just unmatched. You need to be fit to deal with this life. You need to be fit in sports. You need to be mentally ready, mentally tough to play any sport. You need that to get through life. You need to be able to make decisions on the fly. I love that. I could go on and on about parallels between life and sports, but I say this to say, I need you to start adopting that champion mindset. I need you to adopt the champion mindset. Stephen, you got a couple of weeks to graduate, and I'm going to tell you something, sir. I promise you, in 2 years, high school is going to be a memory. It doesn't define your life. Every high school student thinks high school defines their life. High school doesn't define your life. I promise you. You're going to get out of high school and you're going to be like, high school what? You're going to go to college and realize there's another level. Because why? There's always another level. There's another level to everything. Yes, there are really levels to this shit. The problems you had 5 years ago seem small to the current ones. Why? Because you've learned how to adapt, conquer those problems. Now, you have new sets of problems, right? The new ones seem so hard and so tough, but you overcome, you get through, and then you realize, it really wasn't that bad. Champion mindset. Learn from your losses. Be quick, adapt in the moment. Know and understand that failure is part of the process. Now, there are some people who seem like they never lose. So you're like, well, Diva, what are the lessons are the people who constantly win learning? Really? I'll tell you what the lesson is. You look at people, you look at athletes that never lose. I was watching something today, and they were talking about the Formula One team for Mercedes-Benz, I believe, has not lost in 7 years. So you're probably like, what lesson? I like that. Failure is not failure. Thank you, Xanax. I love that comment. Failure is not fatal. It's not. So you're probably thinking, what lesson do they learn if all they do is win? You know what they figured out? They figured out how to stay ahead of the game. They figured out how to just be better than the other guy because they don't want to lose. They're watching, they're studying. So you got to study this thing called life. You got to study it. Because it's not, man, it's constantly going and changing. And the thing I think a lot of you miss is that you wake up and you're just kind of floating through life and you got to have a plan. Think like a champion, operate like a champion. Have that champion mindset, have that winning mindset. Don't live in the past. Live in the present, plan for the future, and have no regrets. The choices you make are the choices you make. Big deal. We've all made shitty choices. I know I have. Could write a book just on that alone. Diva's Dumb Choices, Volume 1. So understand something. When you make these choices, it's part of your process. Everybody says, well, how do you know if you make the right choice? You don't. You don't. You make it, you roll with it, you see what happens. You adjust. But this is what you can't do. Because though it is a choice, when you don't take any action, taking no choice at all is action too. But it doesn't move you forward sometimes. Keep your head in the games, guys. Stay focused. Stay fired up. Have that champion mindset. When you wake up tomorrow, Like you gotta talk boss to yourself. Like, let me tell you, and I think I talked about this last week. I really have been having a rough 2022 without really getting into it. But my mom ain't raised no punk. So I worked through it. But you gotta talk boss to yourself. You gotta wake up and say, this is gonna be an amazing day. You have to wake up and say, I'm the shit. You got to wake up and say, no weapon formed against me will prosper. Like, you got to wake up and come into that. That's how you got to start your day. If you follow me on social, I start every day where I'm listening to motivational content in the car. I'm like locking and loading as I'm in the car on my drive to work. You got to start your day with that level of energy. You got to start your day just ready to conquer the world. Because if you don't start your day like that, if you don't start your day with that energy, the world will conquer you. And personally, that's not how I want this to go down. My terms, my way. No regret. No regrets, guys. You want to stay focused. You want to stay in the pocket. You want to keep your head in the game. Find ways to keep yourself motivated and inspired. A lot of y'all ain't inspired. A lot of you don't know your why. Figure out what your why is. Figure out what your why is. How many of you know your why? If you know your why, and don't say to me, well, what do you mean? If you know what your why is, give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you know what your why is over here on YouTube and Facebook, go ahead, give me a thumbs up in the comments. I'm watching both spots. You don't know your why. You have no clue. I know my why. That's my driving force. I know my why. That's why I can do this day in and day out, even when I don't want to. My why is bigger than everything else. My why is bigger than my obstacles. Make your why bigger than your obstacles. Make your why the driving force. Make your why the reason you wake up every day. If you don't have a why, that's why your ass ain't motivated. That's why you're not inspired. And you will not be successful without knowing your why. I like this quote. Thank you, Xanax. She says, this is a quote that says, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is courage to continue that counts. Let's go. What? We talk about movement. Move forward. Why are you not moving? My kids, I like that. That's your why. What is your why? Ask yourself. Ask yourself. And if you can't answer, I need you to work on that. That's your homework. Do work, crew. That is your homework. Ask yourself, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Maybe you're in a job you hate. Why are you still in that job you hate? Well, clearly you got to provide for your family. So you stay. You figure something out. But there has to be something deeper. The deeper purpose is what's going to sustain you. That deeper purpose is what's going to sustain you. Find your why. Champions know why they do what they do. Even if the answer sometimes is simply, this is all I know. I live and breathe it. I don't know anything else. I don't want to do anything else. That's what champions do. They stay in the game. So, what separates winners from losers? Purpose. What separates winners from losers? Losers have a lot of fear. They have a lot of fear. They're fearful of everything. They're fearful of failure. They're fearful of what people think. They're scared to win. They're scared to lose. They're scared to do nothing. They stagnant. Winners take those risks. They move. They have purpose. They have passion. I need you to find it. I need you to find it. Do Work Crew. It's all about y'all this next week. I need everybody to find their why. I need everyone to adopt and work on adopting a champion mindset. That is a must. It's a must. You have to. I implore you. Adopt a champion mindset. Be relentless. Don't quit. Don't give up. And most importantly, remember, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. Go over to divarichards.com. Subscribe to the Do Work podcast, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. So when that next episode drops, you're ready. And feel free to reach out to me, DM me. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. Remember, you're here. You're listening to the sound of my voice. I'm your coach now. You never had a life coach. Now you got me. All right, fam? Remember, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Let's go.